Okay, let me begin this review by firstly swallowing the biggest piece of humble pie anyone has ever swallowed, and tell you that when a guy I know in the gym recommended I watch The Sandman on Netflix last year, my first reaction, my gut reaction was no, absolutely not, because I'd seen it pop up on Netflix, the sort of advertisement, and the outlay was very lordy, ringsy, gamesy, thronesy. Fantasy, basically. It was pretty cool, though. The way Tom Sturridge was sort of embossed on the screen, and his hair was the only thing that was moving. That was pretty neat. But again, it didn't draw me in, and I thought, no, I'm not going to watch that. It looks shit. The Sandman was one of the best, if not the best, things I've ever seen on Netflix. I completely judged a book by its cover, and I'm so fucking glad I did. I love it when that happens to me. I love saying something looks shit, bitching about it, and it's brilliant. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here, so bear with me, if you will. First up are the emotions and the messages in every episode of The Sandman. It stirred every single emotion within my soul that it could possibly find. Amusement, joy, sadness, lust, intrigue, empathy. I was angry. I was confused. I was happy. I was overjoyed. Strange. I mean, I was craving certain fates in the end for various characters. I was fascinated by the power that one woman held in the palm of her hands in a simple piece of jewelry, and what she then unleashed. I was crying over the death of a baby. I was laughing at two brothers who kept purposely killing each other and then coming back. I was really fucking angry at a selfish man who he was out to make people's lives a complete misery. Or did he actually make them better in the end? I was excited about a young woman who embarked on this mission where it was called the Serial Convention, I think. And I was gobsmacked at what she discovered. I was bemused by the lead character's sort of icy cold inability to feel anything, and enormously impressed at how Tom Sturridge basically managed to keep a completely straight face throughout. It was like ice, and I think he broke a smile probably twice, but even then it was just a sort of, well, I can't do it, but he barely moved his features. It was just a slight smirk. So I was amazed at that, and Jesus, were my loins on fire during one of the most sexually charged scenes I've witnessed in a TV show in years. So, oh my Lord. Okay, I'm going to pause here to discuss episode 5 of The Sandman. So up until episode 5, each episode is basically centered around separate tales from different characters. That's what you have to realize. So it's a beauty. It's a rare gem. It's really enjoyable and easy to digest as well. Now, episode 5 focuses on a character called John. I'm stuttering because I'm really enthusiastic about this. Oh, fuck me. Right. So John, played brilliantly by David Thewlis. It centers around, or is rather, everybody's trapped in a diner. So he goes into a diner to have coffee, and ends up manipulating everybody in the building with this object that he possesses. It's very Twilight Zone. The episode basically, it's about trapped souls. So everybody in that diner is completely fucked. And I mean in the literal sense as well. I'll get onto that. But it traps them all in one place, and then they start to unravel dangerously one by one. During it, a couple of them try to leave and they can't, so they come back. It's almost like a loop that's their lives are playing on repeat. I need to shout out the names here, not actually shout out, but Emma Duncan, firstly, a striking similarity to Catherine Hahn, who plays the waitress. Laurie Davidson as a businessman. Stephen Brand, James Udom, I think his name is, and Lords Fabers. There's some unique names in this. Apologies if they ever see this, probably won't, but if I haven't pronounced it correctly. They all come together and they front this episode where hidden sort of inner thoughts and feelings, like your proper innermost desires and things you really want to fucking do, but you'd never do. They're fully exposed and the shit hits the fan. It's like a gradual torment. It's absolutely fucking nuts. So the episode itself, it's a masterpiece in portraying inner desires and the yearning for certain things and what happens when you do actually drop your barrier and your pants and you live out the sort of circumstances with no inhibitions whatsoever. It's terrifying. The episode itself, I mean, so the filming style lends to it just spectacularly. How the camera angles, the lighting in the scene, how it's staged. At one point, the characters are all together, and everything that happens has happened, and they're all stood there, and they're all just sort of, they've lost their souls, and the way they're positioned it's so artistic. It's just fucking amazing. I was going to say so there's the scene that's quite, in every sense of the word, the term. I mean, yeah, it's hot and it's steamy because the kitchen, the pots and pans out the back of the diner are all bubbling and sort of smoking as people in the diner are. I won't give it away, but there's a number of characters who start shagging, basically. Literally inhibitions dropped. You've got two men out in the kitchen. One of them just sort of slams the other against the fridge and goes down on him, just gives him a blozzer in the middle of the kitchen. You've got a man and woman who are going at it in the booth of the diner. And it's just all just sort of like bang, 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 like creak, creak, creak. The pots and pans are steaming. Everything's bubbling. It's fucking nuts. It's one of the most, it's one of the most erotically disturbing things I think I've seen on TV in years. And the sort of the message that it gives off is absolutely incredible. So it's basically, John is at the helm of these people who have lost their inhibitions, and in the end, it's all about them indulging and sort of it's sin, and people are shagging left, right, and centre. People are someone kills someone, someone else goes nuts, and she loses her shit. Oh my god, it's and this guy. Again, David Thewlis is brilliant. He's the puppeteer. He's sitting in the middle, just watching all of it just crumble. It's nuts. And now I don't want to sound too biblical here or anything, but what I loved about the Sandman overall is there's a twist of like the 7 deadly sins in each beautifully produced episode. I think it's got this real massive biblical underlayer, and each episode is the essence of the universe itself. You'll see if you ever watch the Sandman, or if you have watched it, good luck, and you've got brilliant taste. But I'm kind of struggling here to sort of get my point across. So bear with us. See, even the camera's going. Let me just actually. Is that better? Sort of blended into the background now, haven't I? But yeah, you got 7 deadly sins and a large biblical message. If this wasn't the producer's intention, then I completely misread the Sandman, and I don't know I don't know how to justify myself. I don't know, but anyway, if you ever wanted to drill the meaning, like, you know, the meaning of life or life's lessons into, like, you know, into sort of young adults, to show them the way and sort of the paths and, you know, things to look out for, and there's stuff to, you've got sins and people you'll meet and things you should never do and things you might do. This is it. So the opening scene, it's incredible. I mean, every episode isn't just the essence of life and building blocks of the universe. But Tom Sturridge, in the first episode, where he's actually curled up in a, he's trapped. He's curled up in this big glass dome by another, he's put in there by another character, and he's in the fetal position. So, I mean, that's just fucking incredible. That just kicks it all off, and that seals the deal for me, basically, because, you know, that's a baby. He breaks out of the womb, I suppose. He breaks out, and then each episode is the meaning of life and the stages of life that people go through. I don't know. Again, if I misinterpreted it, then shit, I've looked into the universe itself. I don't know. This is better lighting, actually, isn't it? It's cool. So the cast. Get onto that bit. Now, the Sandman includes an incredibly diverse range of people, and they're all sublime. So, jumping from one end of the spectrum to the other, you've got the likes of EastEnders' Nina Wadia, who plays Fate Mother, and she's just fantastic. She's got Nina Wadia up against someone at the other side, so Jolie Richardson as Ethel. I mean, it really is a case of, like, what the fuck is she doing there? I mean, I'd only expect Nina Wadia to be in sort of BBC things or into EastEnders. But it's, you know, when you spot someone from an East London-based soap opera in something like this, it's like, wow. So you've got those two. It only adds, though, to it just sweetens the cast cocktail, because you've got Stephen Fry, Charles Dance, Gwendolyn Christie and Jenna Coleman, Mason Alexander Park, Asim Chowdhury from People Just Do Nothing is in there. It's packed to the rafters with highly sort of engaging, almost caricatures who help lead the way in each story. So the Sandman sort of embarks on a mission, and these, you know, these fantastic actors, they play characters who help him sort of find things or sort situations out. It's almost like people in fairy tales. Again, this incredible underlayer. I mean, I think most of what keeps it refreshing as well is most of the cast are cameos. Jenna Coleman, for example, she sort of jumps in and then back out. She's gone. The salad of it all, the people, the ensemble, it just keeps on tossing. The salad keeps on tossing. That's a really shit thing to say, isn't it? Right, Tom Sturridge. I had never heard of Tom before, or seen him in anything, but I was so impressed by his performance. He won me over from the second he appeared on screen. When he's all nudie in the glass prison, and he sort of, I'm doing that because I haven't got a board or anything, but someone comes up to him and he just sort of looks up and stares at them in this real sort of evil way. Oh God, fucking camera. But yeah, he's sort of, the way he looks and stares at them. It's, yeah. As I mentioned just now, though, Tom keeping a straight face was one. It's less is more, basically. It was fascinating. his face barely ever moves. It's like he's an ice sculpture or something. And the fact that he, you know, cracks a slight smile in 1 or 2 episodes, like, really. So I was like, oh no, that's a smile. Oh God. But that's it. So yeah, he's great. I took him at face value. excellent. I can't. Sorry, I can't say anything else because the man is an absolute force of nature. I mean, his image and the way how softly spoken he is, like the attitude, it just captivated me. And yeah, it's great. um, right. So let's see. Sets and visuals. God, I didn't think anything else would get more stunning, but it's stunning. You've got this like smoky church-like palaces that like lay the scene for battles that smash everything up and like bring everything down. There's a cobbled cottage in one episode in the middle of this like mystical fairy tale garden that's surrounded by fireflies and creatures, winged sort of dragons. No, I think dragons do have wings. Winged creatures. And then, you know, you go from things like that, palaces and these mystical lands, to something like a park bench in the middle of Chiswick. And that episode was really emotional. I mean that, yeah, where the Sandman meets. I think she's Death. She plays Death. In fact, I'm not actually gonna. I'm not gonna ruin it. Right? Yeah. So he meets this other character, and it's emotional. So when the Sandman actually visits Fate Maiden, Fate Crone, and Fate Mother, the scene, God, it's amazing. It's dreamlike and just so, it's the perfect blend of sort of scary and intriguing. There's one bit where Nina Wadia stands and her character, a snake, slides into her mouth, and she sort of lifts, she's like smiling as she swallows this snake. It's like fucking hell. These three as well, the Fate Maiden, Crone, and Mother, they pop in and out at random intervals, and you know they speak sort of words of wisdom or fate, and it's just fantastic, like reverse sort of fairy godmothers, I suppose. Right, so you don't just get though these distinctive characters in exquisite costumes, but it's the surrounding, you know, the surroundings, the sets that engulfs them. That it's just divine. It lays the atmosphere and brings the characters right out. It's fuck, I can't, yeah. It was amazing. I can't speak. It was that amazing, obviously. Right. So, right. I hope that's explained some of it. I think so because I've hit bloody 18 minutes. Negatives. I didn't think I could find any, but yeah, I suppose the first downer would be some people aren't going to enjoy this as much as others because it's very fantasy and very, you know, very misty and sort of murky. There are also a few ridiculous elements to it. So what I found a bit sort of, you know, eye roll was when the Sandman, good old Tom Sturridge, right at the beginning of the series, he announces that he cannot, you know, he's like, I cannot embark on my journey without this thing, this object. I need this mask. I need this mask and this bag of sand. Sounds really stupid, but it is actually what he needs. It's his sort of medals, I suppose, parts of him that have been scattered. So it's a little bit Harry Potter as well, like the Horcruxes and things. So he's like, you know, I cannot embark on this mission without this and that and this. He basically says it's impossible for him to perform any task without the things that he needs, and he does it anyway. You know, he goes through each episode without the items. So you know, it's a little bit cringe there, but yeah, I'm telling you this, no, that doesn't even warrant it. I love this so much. I've got so much passion for this that I don't even think I warrant my own comment. Let me see, just checking me notes. Oh yeah, the talking bird thing at the start, a little bit tacky. When isn't there a talking animal in anything these days? But he's kind of cute. He plays a pivotal part of Sandman's quest. And yeah, another one would be Lucien. So there's a character, she's the librarian of the dreaming. It's a Sandman's lair or hometown. Oh, God, that really brings it down to call it that. But yeah, Lucien, she brings it to a halt a little bit. As soon as she appears, you know you're in for a bit of a snooze fest, basically. It's time to concentrate and listen, that kind of thing. Yeah, so whereas most other characters in this TV series are sort of taunting or inspiring, yeah, Lucien sort of politely stands as a librarian, arms crossed in front of her, reeling off a load of old shite. It sort of brings it to a standstill a little bit, but it's no biggie. So, gone are the days when I used to watch something on TV, fall in love with it, run down to HMV and buy it on DVD. You know, those I haven't bought a DVD in years. But if I had to, well, if I wanted to, Sandman would be it. After watching that on Netflix, yeah, if I still had my library of these things, that would be without a doubt added to the collection. It really would. I would have got it on day of release. The Sandman is absolutely swallowed in, it's just engulfed in stunning CGI and sets as well. It's an array of sheer talent who deliver just a beautifully written script, and they evoke all possible emotions from their performances as well, each person. Like I say, I genuinely believe this is the essence of the universe itself. So from Tom at the very beginning in the fetal position and then breaking out of his womby prison, embarking on a journey through life, and then each message, I mean, every episode is crafted in a way that tells the viewer something they need to know, or something they should know. And that fucking episode in the diner that was just so, like, it was erotic but mortifying, and it was horrible, and it was fascinating, and it was fucking amazing. So yeah, I mean, that episode got me in the sense that it was like the forbidden fruit. So that's a bit of a biblical underlayer. Adam and Eve, forbidden fruit. I mean, believe you me, there were a couple of plums swinging around this way. But yeah, couple of plums this way comes. It really was. I fucking love that episode. It was terrifying. I felt as if I had gone to hell. Just watching it, the way that people's desires were just exposed and how honest they just started, it was just uncontrollable how they were spouting things to other people and telling, I suppose, a bit like, I don't know, a truth serum. And there's John just sitting in the middle, loving what he's watching, and he's created this whole new world of honesty and telling people exactly what you think and how you feel about them and stuff. It was a absolute mindfuck of an explosion. It's the only way I can describe it. And yeah, like I say, the camera angles and lighting and the positioning of the actors. Wow. Okay, so that was episode 5. Christ alive. Could you imagine if I had actually broken this down into a review of each episode? You wouldn't, well, you'd probably actually skip to the end, obviously. But yeah, I'd be here for hours. The Sandman, without a doubt, is the best thing I've watched. And when I think back to the guy in the gym who was like, oh yeah, watch the Sandman, just in a passing comment. And I was like, it looks shit. More for me. I completely judged a book by its cover, and I'm so glad that I was proved wrong. Apparently there's a new series coming, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. If you haven't seen it, you need to. That's it. Got to end there.